So, with Hogwarts Legacy just a few weeks away, I wanted to make a video going over some reasons you should be excited for the game. Now, from my perspective, there isn't a single thing about the game I'm not looking forward to, but for everyone that may still be on the fence about whether you should pick it up or not, I hope these 7 reasons I can give you help with your decision. Going into the first thing I wanted to talk about, which is the open world as a whole. This game, from everything that we've seen, is going to be the most complete package when it comes to a full Harry Potter-like experience. The castle itself seems to have been designed with the utmost care put into it. Freedom to go seemingly anywhere is stuff of childhood dreams. To be able to explore the Gryffindor Tower or the Slytherin common rooms in the deepest part of the dungeons, the Great Hall, or even the herbology greenhouses. The world that has been created here seems flawless in almost every way. Not just the castle though, other places in the world like Hogsmeade or even Diagon Alley, if done correctly, have the potential to complete the most immersive Wizarding World experiences yet. I've always wanted to run through the Forbidden Forest at night, just wondering what kind of magical creature could jump out from behind the tree at any given moment. There are so many areas of this game's open world that have so much potential for not just great storytelling, but gameplay as well. And speaking of, the second reason you should be excited for Hogwarts Legacy is the magical creatures. If dragons, trolls, centaurs, or even giant spiders don't get you excited, then what if I was to suggest the idea of werewolves being Hogwarts Legacy? Let me explain. In the second gameplay showcase at 24 minutes and 54 seconds, we get a list of traits that you can seemingly apply to gear that we've acquired through the game up until this point. We can see that these traits decrease damage taken from various sources such as dark wizards and fairy, goblins, and whatever a dug bog might be. But towards the bottom of the list is lupus protection. Lupus being the Latin word for wolf. Now that has me thinking, among other magical creatures already confirmed to be in Hogwarts Legacy, maybe werewolves are a part of that list. Now the third thing that should excite you is the room of requirement. And if you're thinking, why would a single room excite me? Well, it's exactly everything you could ask for when it comes to your own canvas to essentially curate exactly to your liking. You want to change the skylight? Yeah, you can do that. You want to put some nice furniture down? The question is, where do you want it? Change the size and color as well, of course. Now, designing the room to your heart's content aside, the functionality of the room is important too. This is where you'll brew potions for later combat or even grow plants and herbs to essentially act as magical tool belt. All the ways you interact with the world lean more into immersing yourself even more as you play, even going so far to make the room of requirement not just feel like an in-game hub to help you along your journey. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about may be considered cheap, but regardless, it's the Vivirum. This is the place where you'll be able to house and care for all the magical creatures you've rescued from dens in the overworld. You'll be able to pet, feed, and clean them, and even be rewarded with fur, maybe scales or horns, for example. This will help with upgrading gear later on. This space acts similarly to the Room of Requirement, allowing you to customize certain landscaping items such as trees, cobblestones, archways, stone statues of hippogriffs, and other magical creatures, and more. This room alone has the potential for you to spend hours upon hours making sure everything is exactly how you want it. Now, the fifth aspect of Hogwarts Legacy you should be excited for is the combat. Not since the Deathly Hallows games have we had something so fast-paced and in-depth, but we won't talk about that. And not since the Lego games have we had a list of spells this big to work with. And I haven't felt like a real wizard ever since the Order of the Phoenix games. But now all those aspects seemingly appear to be apparent in Hogwarts Legacy's combat. Now, there isn't one particular thing I can point to in Hogwarts combat that stands out above everything else. They all seem to enhance one another. For example, ancient magic and the combo meter, potions and magical plants, which all link back to the Room of Requirement, and probably the most important thing that Avalanche Software has done for the game, the 3 unforgivable curses. They really had me sold out of Avada Kedavra. The sixth thing I wanted to mention in this video is the character customization. Now, I know it isn't a very long process at the beginning of most games, and it doesn't usually affect much through the runtime. But with this game, it feels different, you know? The amount of times I've dreamt of myself sitting down in the Great Hall for the end of year feast is insane. Seriously, it's a lot. And I know I'm not the only one. So to have your character be the embodiment of you in this world is, and I'm not kidding, it's essential. Now finally, the thing I wanted to talk about is the story, and what we know so far. You've received your acceptance letter to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, but you're starting off school life as a 5th year. which is pretty unheard of to say the least. Leading up to the housing ceremony, we don't know much in the way of how the story progresses. We do know our player character has the ability to use or harness ancient magic. Odd for a newly accepted 5th year, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Community manager at Avalanche Software, Chandler Wood, has confirmed that we'll be able to explore the world within a few hours of gameplay. With the training wheels off, I hope we're free to meet the new professors, take classes throughout the days, and even run into new companions at our own leisure. But with less than a month away, it won't be long till we find out now. With all that said, I hope I have only increased the excitement for Hogwarts Legacy, and I thank anyone who's gone this far and is still watching. I greatly appreciate you. This is a first for me, but something that I would love to do more of going forward. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be streaming Hogwarts Legacy once it releases here on YouTube. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Until then, thank you for watching.